Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Live again, live again. What's cracking? I'm not sure how this is going to begin. I'm not sure how it's going to end. But I thought that it would be a good idea to give you guys kind of I guess, a good look at Beatmaker 2 for you, those of you who aren't up on iOS. Beatmaker 2 is still a beast. If you in the chat room, holla at me. Let me know where you're from. Let me get a thumbs up on the video. You dig? So, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Before I get started, Instagram at @BroLove. I'm giving away a free license of Beatmaker 3. My last post on Instagram will give you all the details on how to get that. So, that's the business. Excuse me, let me make sure that my chat room is okay. Good. Alright, so what you're looking at right now is Beatmaker 3, the pad setting. I got that kick selected, snare. One thing that's dope is it treats each pad like, this is Beatmaker 3, it treats each pad like a track. So I can highlight this snare and then play it an octave up on the keys, but that's not what this tutorial is about. Alright, so bada bing. This actually isn't a tutorial, it's just kind of like an introspective look. So you guys are a voyeur right now. If you got any questions, let me know. Alright, y'all just kind of looking at my little evil scientist view. Alright, so anyways, maybe I should have had my iPad turned the other way so I don't have to reach across the camera view. YouTube Studio, let me close that out. Alright, Beatmaker 2. The last update that I had was 2.62. And so I'm gonna just load a random project up. Let me load up this beat. Alright, so what you're basically looking at right now is the sequencer window. Navigate, pinch, 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 pinch. Okay, this sequencer window is what's the word I'm looking for? It's dope. So basically what you're looking at here is MIDI and audio. It's an entire song sequenced out that I was working on, that I actually finished. It's a beat, and you can see where my verses go. These are the hooks. Last hook, outro. And so with Beatmaker 2, all of your tools are on the bottom of the screen, like FAT, and then the import and export button are there. Your tools are here: select tool, draw tool, and then some of your where's my other tool at? Let me select something. Your other tools are here, like your copy, duplicate, your paste, your sample chop window is here. And so, or you can just basically double tap on a sample, and then you'll get the sample edit window. So in Beatmaker 3, their sequencer window has changed some, but it's not drastically different. If I can get it to load up, hold on, it's kind of frozen up on me for a second. Hopefully I won't have to reload it. Okay, so their sampler window is a little different. You still have the same tools. Looks like I have some MIDI stuff here. Once I highlight it, I get tools here, and then also I have the tools here on the bottom. So it's different, has the same functionality, the overall look is different, and it crashed. But you can do basically the same thing. I think that was my MIDI. But anyways, you can basically do the same thing. I don't have a lot of freaking RAM on this particular iPad, so this mug may crash like 15,000 times. So, but it's cool though. Alright, good thing Beatmaker has the autosave function. So the autosave function from Beatmaker 2 is also in Beatmaker 3. I was about to go back to Beatmaker. Looks like this one crashed as well. I may have some problems too because both of these guys allocate the sound card, and Beatmaker was one of the first apps that use background audio, so you can actually play something from Beatmaker, open another like a notepad app, and be writing to the beat while it's playing. But yeah, both of these allocate the sound card, so that may cause some crashes too. Whatever, I don't care. It'll be alright. Another thing that's different is this particular codec window. So they did away with this codec window in 3, where you can basically scroll through your instruments. So you can see here, I have Machine, where I bought in some instruments from iMachine, I'm sorry. Here I have a synthesizer. I had a drum machine with some drum samples on it, and I had I'm not sure what that is. Oh, IMPC for some drums, and then of course the main output. That also corresponds with the sequencer area. Okay, I'm trying to go to the sequencer area. Okay, cool. That corresponds with the sequencer area. So those instruments here, these instruments here correspond with these tracks, right? So my kick drum, which I bought in from iMachine, and my snare that I bought in from IMPC Pro or whatever, correspond with these tracks. And the way that it works in Beatmaker 2, which is what we're looking at, corresponds with the mixer. And so the mixer view here is pretty simple. You have your faders, and you have your effects, ins and outs, your sends. You have your solo on mute and your panning on the bottom, right? And then, that makes it very simple for something like this particular mixer to control. In Beatmaker 3, and let me point out really quick, for your audio setup, in Beatmaker 2, whatever your sound card that you have connected to it, because you can connect multiple sound cards to Beatmaker 3 and set up different outputs. Also in Beatmaker 2, and I'm pretty sure you can do it in Beatmaker 1 as well. This technology has been around for a minute, but you can change your input output, your main input output here. Okay, and that has changed a little bit in Beatmaker 3. So yeah, this is the main mixer, right? Main mixer. So let me go to Beatmaker 3. Hopefully this won't crash. Crash. I'll just give you guys kind of like a brief overview. I'm not gonna go into a bunch of detail. Okay, I'm gonna just give just a new session, and I'm gonna go to the mixer. So inside of the new mixer view in Beatmaker 3, it's like a total overhaul. It totally looks different. The panning is still on the bottom. the mute and solo are under the sends. And so if you look at the way at the bottom of the screen, when you go to ins and outs, you have each track has the ability to be sent to a different place. So you can send a track to a different group, the audio to a different group. You can send the audio to a send with effects and automate that particular track. You can send several tracks to an auxiliary with an effect on it and automate those, put oscillators and all kinds of different crap on it. And so it's a lot more intuitive. And this is just the tip of the iceberg because each track or bank, you can add different effects and things like that here. You can basically, I have my macros wired to my AKAI Mini, although my MIDI dropped out earlier. That's why I crashed. I probably nudged it. You got to be careful with that camera connection kit. But you can record automation, of course, and these faders will reflect that automation that you record. And you can pull up your scenes and whatever effects that you have or whatever. This will reflect that volume. You can double tap and manually enter things or go push the advanced button. You can drag as well. And so in Beatmaker 3, your mixer is a lot more complex, but at the same time, for the hardware people who are going from, using an analog mixer, it gives you more of that power and control over your mix. So yeah, for your banks, you can just select show pads. It'll show you the banks that have pads. And you can also add tracks from here. Add an auxiliary track, add an audio track, 15 audio tracks, whatever. And then I don't have a microphone hooked up right now. But if I were to hook up a microphone and then I clicked on the ins and outs, I have an input here on the top of the input output, and then I could select, I don't know, whatever, the iPad microphone, or if I have a separate microphone connected, I can run the audio from bank A, whether that's a complete drum kit or sample or audio, into that and bounce onto that audio track and just record or just mix that particular sound to that track, or several. I could send several of my banks to one audio track and bounce to that track and do all different types of things. So the mixer on Beatmaker 3 is it's a beast. I mean, in one word. Of course, you have your fader markings, just like on Beatmaker 2 or any, and they represent, for the most part, from what I've experienced, they represent true decibel levels, and so you can totally mix accurately on this thing. So again, they did away with that codec, where you can go between different instruments and tracks. You would basically just either go to your mixer, or from any window you can tell which bank you're in. You can also add banks here, A through H, and then you could basically, okay, let's just say in bank B, just like in Beatmaker 2, I had iMachine in one, and then I had IMPC in another. I can highlight whatever I have highlighted. I can double tap, or I can drag and drop. Let's just say I want that here. Then I want in C, bank C, I want this. And then in bank D, I want to go and open up a, let's open up a VST in that particular bank. Let's say we want, I don't know, something random. Let's open up, and all of these are heavy, but I don't want it to crash. But you could open up another, you can open up a VST in bank D, and then in bank E, you can, do something different. So the audio and the MIDI on the mixer also correspond with the sequencer area. So you can see all of these banks that I just added, as well as my audio. Now, if I were to record some audio and or MIDI, of course it would show up in this area just like it would in Beatmaker 2. So let's go back to Beatmaker 2, and I'm going to show you guys a couple things really quick that are the same. Okay, like I was showing you earlier, you double tap on the audio and you can totally chop this up and truncate it, and you could export this as a new drum kit or whatever you want to do from Beatmaker 2. But what's also dope is, let me find some drums. What's also dope is that Beatmaker 2 kind of navigate. Beatmaker 2 kind of went ham on the MIDI grid. This is a hi-hat, so it'll be very difficult for me to find the notes. Where's the freaking notes at? But inside of this MIDI grid on Beatmaker 2 and 3, just like the audio, you can double tap and you can edit the MIDI notes. This is actually the volume. I'm trying to find the notes and I don't see them. Let's try different.